Hi everyone, you're with Tesla Tom. Thanks so much for joining us on Ludicrous Feed. Today we're going to do another virtual road trip planning video on a betterrouteplanner.com. This time we're going to explore Queensland a little bit, starting with the Gold Coast right in the southeast corner of the state. And we are going to go all the way up to Cairns to take advantage of the Queensland Electric Superhighway. We're going to start our journey in a Tesla Model 3 rear-wheel drive. And we are going to start the journey at 90% in the Gold Coast, allowing for, let's say 5%, let's be daring, 5% at each destination. And we are going to use Tesla chargers, CCS generic chargers, and also CHAdeMO if required. And then for extra weight, I'm going to put 150 kilograms, allowing for 2 passengers and a bit of baggage. All right, let's map that journey out. Okay, so it's telling us that this journey is going to take 24 hours and 44 minutes. Normally it would take, well, I mean, it's not realistic, but it would take 20 hours for a 1,799 kilometer trip end to end without stopping. But with charging, it's going to take us an extra 4 hours and 30 minutes, and we have to charge 8 times along this journey. So let's review this journey right now. So at the Gold Coast, we are starting at 90% charge. And it's telling us not to charge in Brisbane, but to charge in Gympie for a 22-minute charge to get from 9% to 75%. I suppose you could charge in Brisbane for a little bit if you wanted to, and that's going to cost $14.99. Let's see what kind of charger that uses. That uses a Tesla supercharger. Okay, so let's zoom back out. And then the next stop after that is after driving for another 150 kilometers up to Childers. And that's using, let's see, I think that's probably using a CHAdeMO or CCS at 50 kilowatts. Okay, and that's charging from 30% to 83% for a 33-minute charge. And then up to Miriam Vale. In Miriam Vale, you are dropping down to 35% to charge for 16 minutes to get to 56%. Let's have a look there. So that one is a another CHAdeMO or CCS, 50 kilowatts again. And then up to Rockhampton. So this one's a big drive. 1 hour 51 minutes, 169 kilometers. Your battery drops to 5%. So I guess if you wanted to, you didn't have to charge it only at 56%. You could top it up to say 60, 70%, and then you would have a bit more charge when you get to Rocky. And then from Rocky, you have to charge for 46 minutes from 5 to 78%. And let's have a look. That's probably another CCS charger, I would think. Yep, so that's a 50 kilowatt charger. And I think CCS means CCS2, I'm pretty sure. Okay. Thank you. And then from Rocky to Carmilla, that's another long drive, 2 hours, 28 minutes, 236 kilometers worth till you get to Carmilla. That's dropping it to 5%. Again, you could potentially charge at Marlborough, or you could top up to 90%, say, and arrive at Carmilla with a bit more charge. Okay, so between Carmilla and Bowen, it's limiting your speed to 90 kilometers an hour because you've got to get to Bowen with 5% left. Again, a better route planner does this sometimes. It tries to use as few charges as possible, but that means living a bit dangerously, dropping it to 5% at each point. So you could either top up a bit more at Carmilla to say 90 or even 100%, charge a bit longer there, so you get to Bowen with a bit more charge, or you could stop at Mackay and top up there for, say, another 15-20 minutes, so you've got some more charge, and that way you don't have to limit your speed, for example, to 90 kilometers an hour, and you can just drive normally and get to Bowen with a bit more charge as well. So depending on how much time you have, I guess. I can't see many people driving this big a distance in one day, generally speaking. Of course, there are edge cases. And then from Bowen to Townsville, another longish drive, 2 hours 21 minutes, 205 kilometers, Again, you could top up at Bowen a bit more as well, and then you wouldn't reach Townsville with 5%. You would have a bit more charge. And then from Townsville to Tully. Again, these are all CCS2 type chargers, and I'm assuming these are all ChargeFox electric highway chargers and not Tesla chargers. Because the last Tesla charger up north, I'm pretty sure it was the Sunshine Coast in Queensland. So where were we? We were in Tully from Townsville. And in Tully, you would spend 19 minutes to charge from 15 to 45%. Then you would do the final leg up to Cairns with 5% left after driving 140 kilometers. Again, you could top up a bit more at Tully as well. Okay, so that's a Model 3 SR Plus. Let's play with the settings a little bit. Let's change it to a performance or a long range at least, and then you've got a bit more range to play with. Let's see if that changes things. So let's go say long range performance 19 inch, which is what I've got. Or is it 18? Sorry, I think it's 18. Let's quickly change that to 18. Okay, so 18, let's recalculate that. Oh, hang on. I think it's because, there we go. I didn't select CCS. Okay, let's try again. Recalculate. Let's see how much of a difference this makes. Okay, so 24 hours, 4 minutes. So not a huge difference in the grand scheme of things. I think it was 4 hours, 30 minutes of charging with the SR Plus. So it's only a 7 minute saving, to be honest. But the important thing is you've got a bit more range to play with, and you don't have to limit your speed if you were to use fewer chargers. And in fact, you use only 6 chargers with a performance. So again, let's review this journey. Let's start at the Gold Coast with 90% charge. Again, stopping at Gympie like the other one, the SR Plus. This has got a charging price, so obviously someone entered that into the system. But we're looking purely at range for now. So Gympie, you arrive at 31%, you can charge to 90%, so wait half an hour at Gympie. And then the next stop after Gympie would be Childers again. Childers is a quick top up at 18 minutes. Go from 57 to 77, so that's pretty good. And then you stop at Rocky. So in this case, it's actually skipped 2 charges from Childers to Rocky. I think the same as the other one too. Or was that Miriamvale? I'll have to go back and review the footage. So you skip Bundaberg, but I mean Bundaberg is a bit more towards the coast, so a bit of a detour if you wanted to go to Bundaberg, or Bundy as they call it, I believe. So you actually skip Bundaberg and Miriamvale, but you do arrive in Rocky with 5% charge. So you could actually top up at Childers a bit more if you wanted to risk it. But that is a long drive, 3.5 hours, 324 kilometers. So you could stop at Miriamvale for a little while if you wanted. And then Rocky arrived with 5%, charge for 53 minutes to get to 63%. Again, these are all 50 kilowatt chargers. Again, skip Marlborough, but you do arrive at Carmela with 10%, so a bit more comfortable there than the 5% residual, I think, with the SR Plus. Again, you could charge more at Rocky as well if you wanted to. And then from Carmela to Bowen, again, skipping Mackay. Mackay is not too much of a detour off the main road. Then Bowen, you arrive at with 10%, again, a bit more comfortable there. Charging for 59 minutes. You see what a difference a 50 kilowatt charger is compared to a Tesla charger, which is about 140 odd kilowatts. And the hyperchargers, or the ultra fast chargers that ChargeFox has throughout the place, that can charge up to 200 kilowatts for the Model 3 performance. So charging at 50 does make a big difference on the speed. So arrive at Bowen with 10%, charge for another hour, drive off at 74%, and then get to Townsville with 30% remaining. That's very comfortable. And then charge for another 46 minutes to 80%. And then the last journey you can actually skip Tully, which you couldn't with the SR Plus. And then you arrive at Cairns with 5%. Again, you could top up a bit more at Townsville as well. So all in all, a bit more comfortable using a performance with a bit more range, but certainly doable with SR Plus. Just 2 more stops and a bit more time charging. Let's and with a performance, you don't have to limit your speed if you wanted to skip a few charges. Let's do this again, but this time let's change the car to a Hyundai. To a Hyundai or Hyundai, as they say in America. Let's change it to a Kona, 64 kilowatt hours. Let's, I think all the settings should be the same. Yeah, fast charger CCS, that's fine. And then residual of 5%. Yep, we need to do that sometimes with the Kona, just with the range. Let's calculate that. Okay, so with a Kona, let's have a look. So it's taking 25 hours and 7 minutes. And again, it's not a huge difference in the grand scheme of things. Probably another 45 minutes to an hour extra. And it's asking us to charge 8 times in that distance. But if you're taking a slow, long drive, it's not a big deal. Let's review this journey. So let's have a look. So the Gold Coast, leaving at 90% charge. This time you've got the option of stopping at Coochon Creek, which is an EV charger, one of the newer charging stations, just north of Caboolture. You arrive at 50%, charge for 16 minutes, and you've got top up to 76%. Let's have a look at this one. So let's see how quick this is. This is okay, so it's a 350 kilowatt charger, CCS2, but I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the Hyundai Kona can only charge at 100 kilowatts. Happy to be corrected there. Okay, so that's Coochon Creek. And then the next stop after Coochon Creek is Childers. You do skip Maryborough and... what's this one? Cooroy. Yeah, I missed that one before with the other Teslas. Okay, so you skip that one in Maryborough. You can go all the way to Childers. After driving 250 kilometers, you reach Childers with 5%. Again, you could top up a bit more at Coochon Creek there if you wanted to. Childers, you can top up to 82%. That's an hour-long charge. That's a 50 kilowatt charger. Then up to Mirranvale. Again, skipping Mundaberg. So Mirranvale only charging for 11 minutes, reaching there at 40%. So again, you could top up a bit more there at Mirranvale instead of only topping to 51%. That way you reach Rockhampton with a bit more charge than 5%, just for comfort. Rocky stopping for almost an hour, charging to 70%, again at 50 kilowatts. Then a long drive from Rocky to Childers, to Carmilla. 3-hour drive, 291 kilometers, skipping Marlborough if you wanted. Reaching Carmilla with 5%. And then Carmilla to Bowen, again skipping Mackay, reaching at 5%. Townsville 5%. And then Tully 5%. You see a pattern emerging here, and reaching Cairns at 5%. So a better route planner does tend to do that. It does favor reaching your destination with less charge rather than stopping for a greater time to top up your battery a bit more at each stop. I guess it depends how comfortable you are with driving with such low charge. I mean, each of these destinations with the arrival at 5%, you could easily top up a bit more. Like Bowen, you could top up to 80% rather than 60. And same with Townsville, and same with certainly with Tully. And you're only adding maybe 15, 20 more minutes each time. If you are more comfortable doing that, or you could stop a bit more in between, like say Mackay here between Bowen and Carmilla, rather than skipping a charger. So really up to you. I would think for most cases, if you're doing this long trip from the Gold Coast to Cairns, that most people wouldn't do that in one day, I would think. You would stop and to take a leisurely drive and explore what Queensland has to offer, which is certainly plenty. Alrighty guys, well thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. If you've done this journey before, or parts of this journey, I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your comments and give some insider tips into people certainly thinking about doing this journey. I would love to do this journey one day. Do that long drive between the Gold Coast and Cairns. And maybe one day when the restrictions are lifted, we'll certainly go out and do a real journey. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I hope you're staying safe. Take care of yourselves. And as always, happy charging. I'll see you next time.